Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing our first Q&A for this week after just seeing last night The Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 12, The Key. The Walking Dead is back. And spoiler warning, if you guys have not seen episode 12 yet, you'll definitely want to watch it before you watch this video. And if you guys didn't see, I did all the usual videos last night, as you can pretty much expect every Sunday from me for Walking Dead. That's the review for episode 12, the reaction for episode 12, because it was a reaction-worthy episode, unsuspectingly going in, but it certainly was. And then predictions for episode 13 and what we think is going to happen at the big battle at the Hilltop, which is just coming up this upcoming weekend, episode 13. So for this one here, we're going to call it The Walking Dead is Back. And, I mean, it's one of those, do you think it'll come back type of things, like from the episode? I mean, of course it's been back for a little while. It's been back since the ninth episode there premiered, Carl's last episode. But I mean to say that The Walking Dead is back, like, this is what we want. Episode 12, when we got to see episode 12, I mean, that's exactly what we want. This is honestly, episode 12 was one of the most fun episodes The Walking Dead has had in years. Easily one of the best episodes that, maybe not like, it depends how you want to look at things. Like with how I score my episodes in the reviews, as you guys have seen, I try to be critical when I do that, and I try to look at how the episode is done and things that maybe don't fit right or feel weird, this kind of thing. So it's more like you have the technical side of things as well too, incorporated in the scores that I give. And I know a lot of you guys too are the same, but there's some things that you just can't rate. And fun factor is one of those where it's, you can't you can't just say, okay, well, I'm going to give this a score, like in terms of a number when you're talking about fun factor. It's really difficult to do that. I mean, really, episode 12 was so much fun. It's just crazy. So that's how I'm kind of saying, like, The Walking Dead is back, because episode 12 brought us some stuff that we have not really seen in Walking Dead for a long time, I want to say. Or maybe, in some ways, maybe ever. I mean, this fight between Rick and Negan was awesome. It was so fun. It was so funny, and it was just so exciting to see it all the way through. It was kind of a big payoff in its own right, and the season's not even over yet. It's not the final battle. I'm hoping we'll still kind of get to see that between Rick and Negan, Prick and Negan before the season's over. But I mean, just to say that, after seeing that episode, this is why we watch Walking Dead, And sometimes you see the battle go back and forth for so long. We have like almost 2 full seasons of what kind of is All Out War. It's a building to All Out War, and then they get into All Out War in the second half of season 7, and it carries through the first half of season 8, and you get into the second half, and it's like finally we got to see an episode that was just really fun. It wasn't one where it was like, super downer or super sad to see. And the Carl, last episode for Carl, episode 9, was an amazing episode. I mean, it's just an awesome episode, the way they shot and the way they did everything. But this was just an episode where it was like just very, very entertaining to watch. It was funny. It was exciting. It was, it was action heavy, intense. You get to see a car chase. We have not really seen, then they didn't show it all. They didn't show it all to us. We kind of see it as Negan kind of wakes up, and you kind of figure out what's happened with the cars being toppled over. But and some people said, like, I wish we could have got to see the whole thing through. Well, they probably gave us about as much as they could have for that. I mean, usually they don't even give us that. And I felt like they did some things in this episode that they haven't really done before. We haven't really seen something like that in a prior season. We've seen Rick run over Bob in season 5 with the officer car, which was awesome too, by the way. That was fantastic also. We've seen in the first half Daryl and Rick as they're going after the 50 cal in the one of the Savior's vehicles there. But this one was really one of those episodes, I think, that really just puts that entertainment factor, that fun factor back in The Walking Dead, which a lot of times can be missing a little bit because you have so many character deaths. A lot of it's downers emotionally. A lot of it feels like, makes you want to cry, this kind of thing. And then to finally get to see an episode like this, it's like, yes, this is why we watch Walking Dead. If anybody was kind of like wondering or kind of losing it, I feel like after watching this episode, at least for me anyway, 100% has re-solidified, why I love The Walking Dead so much, why I love watching it, doing these videos with you guys all the time, because it was just so fun. It was so exciting that it just really brought it back for me in that way that I wasn't sure if that was going to happen. I kind of felt like, after seeing the Carl premiere and everything with kind of how sad that was and everything, I just wasn't sure if we were going to feel that way again about Walking Dead with all the ratings and decline and everything and that. But this one certainly brought it back for me, and I loved episode 12 so much. It was refreshing. It was really great to see for Walking Dead. So we've got some responses from you guys here, and I want to go through them, and you guys can leave new ones in the comments below if you want to on how you felt about the episode for sure. If you haven't done so yet, let us know, because I want to see where everybody's at with this one. But Billie Jean says, this episode was amazing. This is The Walking Dead we know and love. Truly amazing. I'm blown away, and I can't wait for next week. Just like you said, Trev, we're just getting started. Yeah, absolutely, man. Ryan Craig says, Negan and Simon are the real MVPs, and it's good to see Rick in his badass state once again. So Rick back in the beard's growing long, the beard's longer, and Rick is kicking ass and taking names, that kind of deal. That was so cool for Rick, right, too. And that's one thing, like with this episode, for Rick fans, rather than honking the horn, he goes right at him. And he's like, mano a mano, going to take him out, right? Going after him, shooting at the place. And, trying to, like, just everything you go. Oh, man, that was so cool. Especially after Carl, you can really understand. And Negan's kind of been trolling him a little bit. Negan is a troll, right? Let's just say that, right? Negan likes to troll. He does engage in some trolling. He's got the troll smiley face, right? You've seen it a few times in the series. So he does like to engage in some trolling here and there, right? It's part of what he does, right? So for Rick to finally get him down, it's like he's got the troll by himself. He's going after him. He's going to take him out. So it's just fantastic. And they trolled him back a little bit when he grabbed Lucille, right? You get your hands off of her. John says, Trev, great episode tonight. Question for you. What do you think Jadis does with Negan? I don't know. I have no idea what she does with him. Maybe has some fun with him. Maybe tortures him a little bit. Maybe he escapes, and then we see in the season finale he somehow reclaims the rest of the Saviors, somehow gets back there, and then we see one final hurrah, and Rick finally defeats Negan in the end in episode 15 or 16 or something, and then the season ends. Would that not make for an amazing end to this season? I mean, I think that would just be awesome. Because even episode 12, even though it's like a sub-battle to All Out War, it doesn't feel like they're just spinning their wheels. It feels like there was a lot of substance in that episode, and it was really a lot of fun to see. For sure. DJ White says, I'm getting bored with All Out War. It keeps dragging on, and I'm ready for a new adventure, but I still love The Walking Dead. And I think, JD, maybe you're right there. Maybe with the decision to take All Out War and go from, this first half to the whole season and really dig into it, add on those extra groups and do this extra stuff, has just kind of got a lot of people. They're ready for The Walking Dead to change a bit. And so, as you got to see in last night's episode, they're getting there. So they're almost done. We're coming down to the wire now, the last kind of stretch for All Out War. It looks like we're going to see it wrap up pretty soon, and maybe a couple final hurrahs here and there, and then we'll be into season 9. We'll be into a new story arc for The Walking Dead. So and then it'll probably reinvent itself again. You'll have a new showrunner. So it's going to change. But really, I mean, depending on how season 8 wraps up, I would not be surprised if this really did go down as one of my favorite seasons. After episode 12, it's like, yes, finally another really fun and good episode. This half of season 8 so far has just kicked ass. This quarter, these 4 episodes since the return has just been awesome. Nicholas Deserto says, this episode kicked thorough ass. I like the deviation from the comics with Negan getting somewhat usurped by Negan or by Simon. So Simon mutinying against Negan, or kind of taking over and kind of saying screw Negan, that kind of thing. It's been a long time since I really enjoyed an episode of The Walking Dead, but I really did. And that, absolutely, Nicholas, I'm feeling the exact same way as you. And I do like the idea of having Simon kind of screw Negan over, take over the Saviors, because what it does is it humanizes Negan a little bit more. It makes the story a lot more natural, I think, with what we're seeing happen here and how things are going to play out in the end if they go close to based on the comics. And it actually probably improves the end of this season. So it improves the finale for All Out War. And I don't want to get too into specifics with spoilers, but with having Simon do this, it sort of it sort of improves the story to make it more natural, feels less contrived with what they're doing with Simon, how that affects Negan and Rick and the others, and what Rick and the others decide to do later. So if you've read the comics, you kind of know what I'm getting at with that. If you haven't, don't worry. It's on purpose for me not to give you everything because I don't want to spoil everything for you. Next one is from Kelsey Waffle, who says, Trev, when Simon was speaking to Dwight about moving on, I think Dwight thought he meant leaving these survivors alone and finding new communities, not killing them. That's why you see the terror on Dwight's face at the end of the episode when Simon gives his speech to the Saviors to kill them all. And that's one thing about this season as well, too. I probably haven't mentioned enough. I think Austin Emilio, who plays Dwight, has done an amazing job all the way through of playing Dwight. I think that when he's playing both sides, his emotions and everything really makes sense, and they're kind of like, he's trying not to sell it, he's trying not to let them know what he's thinking, and he's done a fantastic job. He's just kind of tried not to give away too much to anybody, be it Simon or Negan or anybody on the Savior's side, and man, he's done a really good job as Dwight this season. I like Dwight a lot more now than I used to. I used to hate Dwight, which it kind of tells you too he was doing his job then too, because when he was a hardcore villain in season 6, right, he was like our main season 6 villain if you look at it, over the amount of the episodes and the amount he was kind of the concentration in that. Yeah, man, absolutely. So he's done an awesome job, and I've really been liking what all of his acting this season so far has been awesome. Punk Rocker for Life 9674 says, probably my favorite episode of this season so far, and I can see that for sure, because it was just so much fun that, there were so many things in there for Negan that were just awesome. And also, it was so original. Nothing like that in the comics happened at all. Like, the comic book version did not include anything like that, really. I mean, it was totally different with what they did. And we could still see some of that stuff from the comics. It's just so great that they did this, and it was so cool and so fun to see Rick light Lucille on fire. Was just like, awesome. This is so sweet. For sure, man. Dr. Death says, this episode really made me want to watch Rick destroy Negan. I want Negan dead by Rick's hands on the show. We will see. It will be so satisfying to watch. Well, I thought this episode was satisfying to watch, and you can't, like we've kind of talked about before the earlier season, you can't have Rick just shoot Negan and kill him just then and there. Like when he's running in the place and Rick's shooting at him and shooting all over the place. Yeah, it makes sense that Rick would be able to hit him there with one shot and kill him. But at the same time, Negan's running for his life. And, you can't have Rick just shoot and kill Negan just then and there. It's got to be kind of more epic than that. It has to be built up more. It has to be more just all around epic. And I think we'll still see it. And it's still to come. But this was definitely a fun moment in the series. And it's probably better than they did it in season 3 with the governor. If you guys remember how they kind of did that during the battles of the war between Woodbury and the prison and kind of the way that all went down. So with Negan, I think they've done even better with this one than they did with that. If you look at Prey, which was an episode from season 3 where the governor's chasing Andrea, this episode had some similarities to that one, but this was way better. This was way better than that episode. It was so fun for sure. Two Sarge says, so exciting to see Betty White surviving in the zombie apocalypse. So I like that one. I Love Memes says, and that's true too. That was super weird, man. And we'll get into that probably tomorrow. It'll be the lead topic for tomorrow's video with you guys. But that was so weird to see them just kind of come out of nowhere. It's like, who the hell are these guys? Especially for comic readers that kind of know, what's supposed to happen at this time, and they see some of that thrown in there. They're like, what is that? It's like curveball. This episode did have quite a few curveballs. Jadis and that. It's like, what is going on here? I feel like I don't know this. I don't know what's happening. Am I watching Walking Dead, or did I change the channel? I Love Memes says, am I the only one that laughed when the dude said moisture? I think it's a girl, isn't it? Pretty sure, but he said when the dude said moisture isn't a word, right? That's funny too, but with me, like, I just wanted to see the Rick versus Negan thing. I didn't care, you know what I mean? I'm going to watch it back again and see the whole thing because I was so amped to just see the Rick versus Negan fight. I'm like, switch back. Because you got commercials in there. You guys know how it is. You want to see how it finishes off, and you got this other stuff here. And then you got that. It's kind of like 18 Miles Out. If you guys remember that episode, you got Rick and Shane, they're fighting, and then they cut over to the farm, and you got Beth who's trying to commit suicide, and it's like, oh, I don't want to see this. Back to Rick and Shane fighting, and these bunch of zombies coming out everywhere. So, that's what it is. Llama Farmer says, this episode was so good, I bought a Negan bat. I probably shouldn't have, but who gives a shit? That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. I got a couple. I got a couple Lucille's. So Juicille, because my wife's name is Jessie. So Juicille's. Tregan's baddest name, Juicille, is what it is. But yeah, no, it's cool, man. And if you're a big time fan of The Walking Dead, Negan is the best, dude. At this point, can we not say that Negan is the best villain The Walking Dead has ever had? The Governor was awesome in his own right. Don't get me wrong. He was intense. He was serious. He was all that stuff. But Negan is just so fun. What a great character. So fun. Jason Voorhees says, this war is about to end. Yes. So we're almost there. And that's true. I'm actually happy, too, as well, to kind of see it kind of wrap up. Because it has been a couple years. And I feel like it's kind of struggled with the audience. And I get to see it because based on what you guys say in the comments, it does affect me because I read it every day all the time. So I as well, too, am looking forward to seeing the final kind of battles here and, moving on next year to a new different type of story arc for Walking Dead, which is great. So, it's pretty much been perfect. But they've been cooking it for a while, so we just want to see that final kind of battle and see those final moments of all that war. It's been so epic, and I'm sure the ending will be super epic. And the last one will be from Mammal's Mayo Sandwich. That's a good name, right? That's a really good name. Trev they just ruined the All Out War storyline by Jadis capturing Negan. And, well, we'll see. We'll see. Let's not do that. Let's not judge too soon. We have to see what happens with Jadis and Negan. Will Jadis be able to capture Negan and keep him down? Negan is crafty, and that's another thing we got to remember if they go anything like the comic book series version of Negan. The comic book series version of Negan, and here's Negan, it's shown that with his Batman, he kills, I want to say, probably tens of thousands of walkers throughout the course of zombie apocalypse. Like thousands and thousands of walkers. So Negan is not somebody to be underestimated. Jadis is more tricky. She can capture you, she can catch you off guard, but she's not, one-on-one versus Negan. If Negan is not surprised and caught off guard, Negan's going to beat her. You know what I mean? He's going to take her down. One-on-one, he'll take her down. She's not going to win that unless maybe she has a firearm. Even if she did, he still will probably get her. She's not going to win. So could he escape before the end of the season, reclaim the Saviors, make an example out of Simon, or maybe Simon's dead at that point, and then, re-attack Rick to kind of finish off the final battle here? I think so, man. I think that's probably what we'll see. So what I'm predicting, I guess, is in the next couple episodes, maybe 2 episodes from now, I do think that Negan will escape. That's prediction. I could be wrong. We'll see what happens here. I don't know. Maybe Jadis. Some people think Jadis will try to trade Negan for Simon or something. So that's possible too. We'll see. I don't know. But either way, I am absolutely glued. Cannot wait to see how All Out War wraps up, and very excited again about The Walking Dead, which is awesome, man. Because it has been a little while, for sure, since I've been this excited about episodes of Walking Dead. So let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments below. How are you feeling after seeing episode 12? How excited are you for episode 13 and for the finale for All Out War? If you like this episode, guys, please don't forget, thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it. You can do it. Click the subscribe button at the bottom. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, I'll see you guys soon.